Hey guys, I wanted to make a quick video about tuning your instrument. I've had a few people ask me about this, and it's really important that you know, and I know a few of you last year didn't know how to do it, so I want to just make a really quick video. This is violin, so the tuning notes are going to be for violins, but the principle is the same on all instruments. Basses are a little bit different because you don't have fine tuners, you just have the machine pegs on the sides, machine tuners, so you can turn those without having to worry about fine tuners, but still the same principle applies with that too. So on the violin, the notes from low to high are G, D, A, and E. For cello and viola, it's C, G, D, and A, so it's a little bit different, but again, same thing works. I always tell, especially 5th graders when I teach them how to tune, I always tell them that the big tuners are for big adjustments, small tuners are for small adjustments. Alright, so first thing you'll need is a reference pitch. I use sometimes a piano. I have a little piano in my office I use sometimes, or if I know an instrument's already in tune, I might use that. Or if I don't have any kind of reference instrument around, I'll use this app called InStuner. Hopefully you can see that. This is a chromatic tuner, but it also does a pitch. It'll play a pitch for me. So if you go to the tone generator part, which is what it's on right now, that blue over here is lit up, you can select the pitch you want and it'll play the pitch for you. So the lowest note on the violin is a G, so I'm going to pick a G. I'm just going to tap the circle in the middle, and it plays a G. Hopefully you can hear that. You can change the octave too. This is the G5. Here's 4. Hard to do one-handed. Okay, I'm going to leave it on this. Oops, I hit F sharp. I'm going to leave it on that G. So what I'll do is, once I get that note in my head, you can keep that going if you want to. I'm pretty good at keeping the pitches in my head. So I'm going to keep that in my head. I'm going to hold the instrument so I can see it, and I'm going to keep plucking it the whole time. So I'm not going to pluck it and then turn, and then pluck and then turn. I'm going to keep playing it the whole time. I know a lot of you, more experienced players, like to actually have it up on your shoulder, and you'll play the tuning pegs as you play. You'll adjust the tuning pegs as you play. That's fine too if you're used to that. I like to do it this way because I'm used to doing it for elementary school kids, where I do one really fast and then go to the next kid. So I've gotten used to doing it this way. But get that note back in your head. I just said I was good at it and I lost it. So that's what we're aiming for. So I'm going to play, I'm going to adjust. It's a pretty big difference between the note I'm listening for and the note I'm trying to go for. So I'm going to adjust to, make adjustments to this big peg. Okay, that's close. It's not right on it, but it's close. So what I usually do when I tune, I try to go a little bit below the note with the big tuners, because if you go too far with these, it's really easy to break a string. So with the big tuners, I try to go a little bit under the note, and then I make adjustments up to the note with the fine tuners. So here's the note again that I'm aiming for. Here's the note I've got. Pretty close. I'm going to make a little bit of an adjustment here. Okay, now there are a couple different things you can do once you get one note tuned. I usually tune either the high note first or the low note first. Either one doesn't really matter because they're all going to be tuned the same way. If you have good enough ears and you're comfortable enough with it, you can go with this first note and listen for a fifth, which is like the first two notes of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, bum 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 bum, those two notes. And this is a little bit too high because I moved this string up a little bit. So I need to go down on the second string. And it's not a very big adjustment, so you could actually use the fine tuner and make adjustment that size. Okay? Or you could go back to your phone to the source pitch and listen to whatever pitch it was again, if you wanted to. The next one on here is a pretty big adjustment. I'll just play that pitch so we know what it is. So that's an A, that's a G. Waiting for it to flip back upside down. Okay, whatever. Here's an A, and you can hear we're not on it. We're a little bit low. So I'm going to use the big tuners. And again, Again, I went almost all the way up to it with the big tuners, and I'm going to use the small tuners to get all the way up to it. And the last one is E. And I didn't move my E earlier, so it might be in tune. Let's hear the E. A little bit high. Okay, so I've got it roughly in tune now. So what you can do now is play a little bit and see if it feels like it's in tune, or you can listen to the strings together, playing back and forth. Because a lot of times with a wooden instrument, the wood will actually move a little bit, or the strings will stretch a little bit as you're tuning the other strings. So it could go out of tune as you get something else in tune, especially if you have to make a really big adjustment if you haven't tuned it in a long time. So even after you get it tuned, I always like to go back and check again. So let's do a G. And the reason I'm doing that G instead of the G that's actually in this octave is that lower G doesn't work very well on phones. If you have headphones, you could do that, or if you have a bigger speaker or something, that would work. But on my phone, it just doesn't work. That low G doesn't play very well, so I'm using a higher octave G. You also have the option on any tuner like this, or a clip-on tuner, of using just the chromatic tuning function, which looks like that, or you can stay on the tone generator on this app, and it'll still do it. So I'll play this next to it. You should be able to see this turn green if it's in the correct pitch. So see, it's a little bit on the low side. So we're going to adjust a little bit. It went a little bit out of tune while we were making adjustments. And again, I'm going to use a small tuner, fine tuners. And when you get it perfectly, it lights up green like that on this app. So let's go to the next one. I'm going to just go on and use the screen to tune it. Next one. Next one. Okay. Now after you tune it once and then check everything, it should stay pretty well in tune until the next time you play. Make sure that you don't play too hard on the strings, because that can make them bend a little bit or stretch and go out of tune. So hopefully that helps. If you have any other questions, just let me know. I'll be glad to help you out if you have more individual questions, or if you have a really weird string or anything. But hopefully that helps you to learn how to tune your instrument and be more confident in it. Try it yourself. Just remember, go below the pitch with the big tuners. Come up to, sneak up to it with the fine tuners. That way you don't go too far and break a string. Okay? And if all else fails, find an app like this on your phone that tells you what the note is as you play it. You have the note name right up here on the top, because that way you'll know you won't go past it. As long as you know what your open string should be, you'll be able to know if you're going to go past it or not, because it'll tell you what note you're playing. So let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.